Amen. Good morning again, CUT. God bless you. I'm glad you've decided to be in the house on this morning. In the old church, they say the house of the Lord. Welcome to those of you who are joining us by stream. God bless you as you join us from all over the world, as I can see. Our series is Lessons from the Lion King. And as we just touch and agree and prepare our hearing, as we prepare our listening, I want to ask you on this morning to just remember that you are uniquely crafted and divinely designed, regardless of any appearances to the contrary. Why do I think that merits saying? Because if the statistic is to be trusted, nearly 90% of people are simply wandering from day to day, walking around with low self-esteem or no self-esteem, searching for someone to provide confirmation about what God has already done, hoping that someone will be able to see in you what you might not be able to see in yourself. 85% of people wandering from day to day with low or no self-esteem, either unaware or believing that they are undeserving of the very thing that God has placed inside of them. It's quite the conundrum when you are divine and you don't believe it. There is something that has to be resolved when you are made in the image and after the likeness, but you're conditioned to believe you are the things that you do and the things that you say and the mistakes that you made and the times that you've missed it. Generally speaking, one of the primary things that interrupts our ability to live out and in accord with what God has placed within us is the notion that we are not enough. Not spiritual enough, not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not connected enough, not patient enough, not talented enough, not experienced enough, not creative enough, just enough to not be enough. And we hold that against somebody suggesting that you are made in the image and after the likeness of God. Not that you are some part of God, but you are the expression of God. How do we reconcile the notion of not being enough of whatever against being one with all that is? Believing that we're not enough. How many of you know that just because you believe a thing, the thing that you believe doesn't necessarily have to be true? And so when we come to the Lion King, we see this cub who is a king. See, the thing about Simba is that he is born as the king. He is not yet in manifestation the king, but he has the divine lineage of the king. The only thing that is required for Simba to become the king is that the circumstances must comply with what Simba already is. And so Simba, who is the lion cub, for those of you who have not seen the Lion King, Simba's the baby cub. But Simba makes some mistakes. And one of Simba's mistakes is a decision that plays into the tragic death of his father. And so, like many of us, Simba carried the weight of his mistakes. He carried the weight of his decisions. He carried that weight, and as he carried the weight began to erode his sense of who he was and whose he was. But Simba got lucky. He came to a place called Christ Universal Temple in the jungle. And he ran into a couple of teachers. And the teachers were teaching basic principles, and one teacher's name was Pumbaa, and the other's teacher's name was Timon. Next semester, as the semester comes, look for those teachers on the roster. You might want to get their class. But one of the first lessons that Timon and Pumbaa taught Simba was that you have to put your past behind you. See, because Simba was ready to live out of his past. He was ready to diminish his possibility because he felt like his mistakes were too much to overcome. Simba was resigned to not being the king because he had convinced himself that he could not stand in his greatness despite his past. And so fortunately for him, there was an angel on 119th Street that said, just keep working and just keep walking and just keep figuring out how to put your past behind you. For many of us, maybe not in this room, the primary thing that is keeping you from living as royalty is that you put your past in front of you. And we keep making decisions based upon the mistakes we've made. We keep looking for love in the places that can't give us love. We keep looking for counsel in the calls where folk who we calling ain't got it together either. I know I'm right. I called them too. If they didn't have an answer for me, I know they don't have an answer for you. Miss Cleo talking about she know how to help me. All she did was charge me money. No, I'm just kidding. Don't let that go out. That's not a true story. I've just made that up so that you feel comfortable with what I'm saying. But let's go. See, here is the challenge with Simba. Simba's inherent royalty or his inherent divinity has been forgotten, and we know that forgetting causes. It's right on the board. We know that forgetting causes. That's what I'm talking about. See, when you forget who you are, if you don't see yourself as worthy, if you don't think that the Spirit of the living God dwells in you, if you have lost sight of your innate divinity, and if your life isn't working as you desire for it to, it may be time for you to do a remembrance diagnostic. When your car breaks down or it malfunctions, and the cause is not immediately apparent, one of the first things that the mechanic will do is he'll run a diagnostic test. The diagnostic test is intended to help get to the root cause of the problem. Is that right? The primary problem for many of us, oh my God, is that we've just forgotten who we are. How can you tell, Rev, if I've forgotten who I am? 5 quick things, and I'm going to come to it later, but let me just give you the highlights right here. How can I tell if I've forgotten who I am? You ready? You can tell in the way you think. You can tell in the way you feel. You can tell in the way you talk. You can tell in the way you act. And you can tell in the way you react. That's how you can tell when you've forgotten who you are. Are you with me? So when we forget who we are, it helps to be reminded of who we are and what we are. Are you with me? So then let's just do some review about who we are and what we've forgotten. The first thing that we've forgotten is that we are divine by nature. Our nature is divine. Your nature is divine. Repeat after me. My nature is divine. I am divine by nature. You are a divine being. What do I mean when I say you are divine? You are one with God, with no equivocation. I heard I saw former president, still President Barack Obama singing Amazing Grace the other day. And he got to the part where, how sweet the sound that saved. And I was hoping he had remembered his time at this lectern. And he had hit us with something like that, saved a soul like me, because many of us have been conditioned to believe that we are wretches. We've been conditioned to believe that something is wrong with us. We've been taught that we're broken. Somebody help me understand it. Made in the image and after the likeness of God, broken from what? If there is just one presence and one power, how can I be outside of the one? So I am divine by nature. It can be no other way. Now I can live out of alignment with what is. Are you with me? I can live as though I've forgotten who I am. I imagine when you were younger, your mom and daddy told you, when you leave this house, remember whose last name you carry. And that remembrance helped you walk a certain way. It helped you remember what was and wasn't acceptable. And even if you still did it, you thought about it first. Why? Because remembering who you are can help calibrate your behavior. Remember who you are and whose you are can help calibrate your thinking. And so we have to remember our divine nature. Forgetting it causes us trouble. It causes us to suffer. It causes us to have difficulty. It causes us to believe that we're supposed to be broke and supposed to be sick. Who in the world ever told you you were supposed to be broke and sick? Who told you that you were not worthy of love? They lied. They lied. And just because they don't know better doesn't mean that you should accept their lie. Got to put your past behind you. Got to remember you are a child of God. You're a child of God. Let me show you how God works. Jesus says, if you folk who make mistakes, you folk who experience limitations, you folk who have some challenges, if you folk who in your humanness are not perfect, know how to give good to your children, how much more then does your heavenly Father know how to give good to you? Can I show you the other part of giving? Receiving. Giver. Gift giver. So the question is not whether or not the gift of good is yours. The question is not, what are you ready to receive? What's your level of capacity to receive the things you've been praying for? It can only come through the consciousness that is ready to receive the gift that has already been given. My God. You can get up off your knees because the gift is already ready for you. Get your soul in alignment to receive the good that has already been prepared. That's the work. That's the work, Kim. That's the work, Jackie. That's the work, to get in alignment with what already is. It's already been given. As a matter of fact, it says, to you it has been given. Jesus is talking to his disciples. To you it has been given. See, and to you, those of you who know who you are and whose you are, to you it has been given. Some people don't know. There is a responsibility with knowing, though. It's better to not know and not be able to do than to know. Whenever I coach my folks, EB, especially the ones who know, I just walk them right up to the line. So, what is it you ought to be doing? If I'm in relationship counseling, what is it you ought to be doing? Oh, they know all the stuff to do. But as we talked about a couple weeks ago, there is a difference between knowing and doing. See, the power is not simply in knowing. Somebody talk to me. The power is not just in knowing you are divine. The power is in living out, expressing the divinity. Because when you express it, people can't help but see your light. And when they see your light and they see how much you have changed, they say, if something can change her, if something can change him, if something can make them act like they got sense, I know there is hope for me. See, you're intended to be somebody's hope, not somebody's hospital. You're intended to be somebody's hope, not somebody's problem. Who are you helping with your light? You gods. Know ye not. Jesus words. Is it not written in your law? Didn't I say? Didn't I say it? Y'all keep pointing at me. Didn't I say that ye are? Not my words. The words of the master teacher. Didn't I say it? I wasn't just talking about me. I knew who you were. I'm just trying to help. As the master teacher. So we got to remember who we are. We got to be open to receive the gift. See, because we say we have forgotten that we are spiritual beings. And we have forgotten that we have authority and dominion. Now let's just break this down. Put this in your notes. Put this in your notes. Make 4 bullet points. Make 4 bullet points. Do it real quick because I got to move. We have forgotten that we are spiritual beings who have dominion over our thoughts and feelings. I want your first point to be dominion, the second point to be our, the third point to be thoughts, and the last point to be feelings. Let's work with this. We have forgotten that we are spiritual beings with authority and dominion over our thoughts and feelings. So let's start first with dominion. If as a spiritual being I have dominion, that means what? That means I have power. If I have dominion, that means I have what? That means I have authority. If I have dominion, that means I have what? Control. But let's work with it, Ruth. Because that next bullet point says what? Oh, say it louder. Come on, talk to me. Say it louder. So I have a thought, I have dominion over, we have dominion over our, when you say our, point to you. We have dominion over our, we have dominion over our. Now let's change our, say my, I have dominion over, there we go, good. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Because some of you think you're supposed to be controlling other people. Some of you think you're supposed to be controlling what other people think. Some of you think you're supposed to be controlling how other people feel. You only have dominion over Just one. You only have dominion over your thoughts and feelings. Why is it so important that you have dominion over your thoughts and feelings and your thoughts and feelings alone? Because when you don't feel worthy, you have to have dominion to work that foolishness out. When you don't feel like you have enough experience, you need a dominion to be able to work that out. When you don't think you're pretty enough, you need dominion so you can work that out. When you don't think you're lovable, you need dominion so you can work that out. You have dominion so you can work out your experience, not anybody else's. See, if you can guard yourself, the rest will take care of itself. Are you with me? So you need dominion over yours, not anybody else's. I need dominion over mine. Because working with the way I think and the way I feel is sure enough a full-time job. Quieting the noise happening in my soul about what will be and what won't be. It's a full-time job. You mean to tell me I got time to take my attention off getting my thoughts quieted to tell you that you need to quiet your thoughts? And you have to watch it because my thoughts are telling me, yeah, get them straight. Yeah, help them. Yeah, they need help. They need lots of help. Yeah. You hear it over there? Just a going. Because the moment I take my ability to correct and control and have authority and dominion over myself, I dissipate the power. So why is it not working? Why can't you fix your wife? And I know Scripture says the man is the head. Y'all waiting for this, right? Say, come on, Rev. Give it to me. How am I going to get her straight, Rev? I need to get her straight, Rev. Help me, Lord. You know how you get her straight? You get dominion over you. You know how you get him straight? You get control over you. The moment you realize that you can't say anything that comes to your mind, the moment you reclaim your control, the moment you reconnect to your power, to your dominion, to your authority, to your spirituality, the moment you center yourself, it will shift the atmosphere. It will shift it. It's hard to argue with somebody who ain't ready to argue back. How come you ain't take that trash out? Yes, dear. How come you ain't do that laundry yet? I'm about to do it, dear. When you gonna cut the grass? Probably tomorrow, dear. When you gonna go look for a job? Y'all like that one, don't you? You like that one, don't you? Here's what you tell her, brother. I see myself in the future. I see myself in the future. About to go get me a good gig. No, come on, let me keep going. Right? But you have to remember that you only have authority and dominion over your thoughts and feelings. You only have authority and dominion over your thoughts and feelings. And I love the Raymond Charles Barker quote. He said, if today's thinking is not exciting, then tomorrow's experiences won't be either. So what is that saying? That's saying if I reclaim dominion over my thought, I can make tomorrow exciting. I may not be able to, I may not be able to go back and fix the past, but I can make tomorrow a destiny with my divinity. Are you with me? One of the things that keeps us suffering is that we have forgotten. The primary cause of suffering is forgetfulness. We have forgotten that it is not God's will for us to suffer. Why does God need you to be broke? His cattle on 1,000 hills. He wants you to be broke? He wants the guy in D.C. to be rich and wants you to be broke? You? The good Christian metaphysician you are? He wants you to be broke? So our suffering does not turn us to God. It is the desire to be all that God created us to be that turns us to God. Are you with me? So I want to challenge you to reclaim authority and dominion over yourself, to remember who you are and whose you are. And I want to challenge you to stop living in the illusion that someone else has placed on you or the illusion that you've accepted for yourself. Because there is another thing that causes us to suffer. And it's thinking that we can somehow be separated from the one. Are you with me? So Simba forgot that he was royalty. And he started believing that he was his decisions. He started believing that he were his experiences. He started believing that he was his mistakes. If Simba was a person, I would say that Simba was caught up in his personality. Are you with me? I can't unpack it right now. So then, we have to remember, that you are an heir. Please repeat after me. I am an heir. What does it mean to be an heir? What does it mean to be an heir? An heir is one, put this in your notes, an heir is one who is entitled to receive the quality of the parent. So there are varying degrees of entitlement. Like being a part of a thing for a long time creates entitlement. Or having been told that you can do whatever you put your mind to creates an attitude of entitlement. One of the challenges that I think many of our millennials are working through is the challenge of having been raised in an age of enlightenment where it is abundantly clear that you can become whatever you desire to become. But I think the gap between that information and the fulfillment is the how-to. Are you with me? My millennials in the room, there's no judgment. I'm trying to help you. It's not enough to just be told that you can without the how-to. See, what did I say earlier? I said right thinking, right feelings, right words, right actions. See, if you don't do the things that will lead to your success, then you will not have success. Are you with me? And so it's not enough to just be entitled. You have to do the things that enable you to receive that which you are entitled to receive. Are you with me? So then what are the qualities of God that we receive as an heir? Are you with me? I want to just give you 5 of them. The first quality is the quality of life. You receive this quality as an heir. The second quality is the quality of love. You receive this quality as an heir. The third quality is the quality of wisdom. You receive this quality as an heir. The fourth quality is the quality of power. You receive this quality as an heir. Finally, the last quality that you receive is the quality of substance. You receive access to it as an heir. Are you with me? So let's then see what the responsibility is. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that, Rev. Because It's one thing to be an heir to receive. It's another thing to be able to carry the whole weight of the responsibility. God does not waste a thing. And so if as an heir you receive it, there is a built-in responsibility to be able to manage it and execute it and express it in your life, world, and affairs. What frustrates us, oftentimes, not you, y'all super spiritual. What frustrates folk, is not necessarily living in alignment with the inheritance that they received. I talked about the prodigal son just a little bit last week. See, his challenge was not the inheritance that he received. The challenge was that he didn't know how to use the inheritance he received. Are you with me? And so he wound up wasting the very thing he wanted. Yes? So then how do you get the most out of life, love, wisdom, power, and substance? Life is the idea in divine mind of activity. So then the things that are in your life are supposed to respond to the divine activity that you are one with. Let me say it to you this way. There is an ability within you when you understand how to function in your power to speak to the stuff that's not working and bring it back to life. See, a relationship doesn't have to be over if you know how to speak life to it. Are you with me? A divorce doesn't mean that you can't still be cordial if you know how to speak life to the person that you're separating with. Are you with me? You don't necessarily have to divorce from your money because you make a purchase if you know how to speak life to abundance. If you know how to speak abundance. Are you with me? Love is the idea in divine mind of universal oneness, yes? And yet they are suggesting that there is an epidemic of loneliness. That people of certain ages are finding themselves lonely. See, you can be alone and not be lonely. Talk to me. You can have dinner by yourself and never feel alone. If you need a bouquet of roses, don't wait for someone else to send them. You send your own self the roses, and not only that, you put one fascinating memo to yourself about why you deserve the roses you sent. You've got to know how to be in love with you. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. If you ain't worthy of sending yourself roses, what makes you think somebody else can pick up the vibration? We teach people what is acceptable behavior. So then, divine love, or the idea of universal oneness, says that you are a magnet to attract the good you desire. Yes? What does it mean to be an heir? It means that you have wisdom or the orderly knowledge at your disposal. So when you're not sure, that's an opportunity to seek within. That's an opportunity to turn within to hear what thus. Come on, somebody talk to me. Right? What does it mean to be an heir? It means that you receive the quality, you have access to the quality of power, the idea in divine mind of authority and dominion. What does that mean? That means you can do, you can accomplish, you can achieve, you can master what you put your mind to. But do know that whenever you have a thought, that thought connects with an emotion, and it is the intention of the thought and the emotion to be transformed into some form of action. You lose your power when you take no action. So you want better? Take action. You want peace? Take action. You want joy? take action. Do not wait. Hear me. Repeat after me. Do not wait for it to fall from the sky. See, sometimes you have to be willing to create the experience you desire. How do you create it? How do you create it? You activate that final quality. You work with divine substance. What's the power of the song, See Yourself in the Future? When you see something in your mind's eye, the function of your imagination is to begin to carve out of the invisible substance the thing that you are holding in your mind's eye. If you can see yourself as healthy in the future, then because you have the capacity to carve out of divine substance with your imagination, that which you are imagining, the thing that you are imagining must make its way into your life, world, and affairs. You have to know how to work it, and you do know how to work it, and you have been working it, but perhaps you have not been working it intelligently. Let me just talk to you. What's in your life? I want to help somebody this morning. It is, whatever it is the byproduct of how you have been working your power as an heir. We use the God power to manifest our life, world, and affairs. You've got no other power to use. You don't have no power of your own. You simply leverage the one power. It's you. It's in you. Waiting for you, just waiting. I believe we just said it earlier. The kingdom is waiting for me to call it into expression. It's waiting for me to come back to myself. It's waiting. Saying, I'm ready to bless you. So I'm ready to give it to you. I'm ready to expand you. I'm ready to increase you. Are you ready? That is the question. So last, here, we're going to take this, and actually, this is a good place to drop off right here because we're going to come back to this in a couple weeks. So what are the responsibilities of an heir? What are the responsibilities of an heir? You've heard me say this before. I believe Eric Butterworth wrote this. That he said a mule can carry a heavy load of precious gold on its back and never know the preciousness of the cargo, only the weight of the cargo. So you and I are carrying a precious cargo as a part of our responsibilities as an heir. So what are those responsibilities? I said them to you earlier. We'll just take them again, and we will pick them up in a couple weeks. There are 5 responsibilities that you and I have. We cannot get around them. They are absolutely intricate principles in shaping our life, world, and affairs. They are principle in shaping our life, world, and affairs. The first thing that is absolutely critical that you've got to get in control of is your thinking, right thinking. Got to get in control of it. The second is right feeling. These are responsibilities as an heir. The third is, somebody didn't take notes. Right thinking, right feeling, yes, right words, right actions, right reactions, right? So those of you who didn't know that, I need you to be in class in September. You with me? Those are the responsibilities. We will unpack those in just a few weeks. Now, if you didn't get any of what I said today, just remember this. The primary cause of suffering is forgetfulness. So let's invert it. If the primary cause of suffering is forgetfulness, then the primary cause of increase, the primary cause of expansion, the primary cause of prosperity, the primary cause of abundance, the primary cause of healing, the primary cause of joy, the primary cause of understanding. If the primary cause of suffering is forgetfulness, then the primary cause of good is remembering. So remember who you are and whose you are. Put the past mistakes, the past failures, the past overlooked opportunities, the past bad decisions, put those things behind you and walk victoriously into the purpose and the future that has been prepared for you. In the beginning, I knew you. Before you were formed, I knew you. You are an heir of God. God bless you.